been a minute since I felt like really creating anything for this channel. I've been super busy with a lot of other projects, but I just haven't felt inspired to talk about anything in particular. But tonight, I've been thinking a lot about you get the energy that you give, and thinking about that particularly in the online space because it's extra true there. People's filters, people's niceness is turned off. And so if you're going to give combative energy, you're going to get combative energy most of the time. And I will say sometimes you will get, combative, troll, angry energy, even if that's not your intent. My video that's really grown the channel the most, just talking about my deconstruction, literally off the cuff, no script, just kind of sharing the thoughts that I had at the time. That video gets a lot of hate. A lot of people say a lot of nasty things, accuse me of different things, say I was never a real Christian, say that I left just because I wanted to sin, say I'm going to hell, all these different things. And so there's an amount of combativeness there that people just bring. But I will say I decided to match that energy in a lot of my videos. I did get quite combative. I think some of that's been helpful to a lot of people, but it's also something that's maybe not helpful sometimes. Like if you want like true constructive dialogue, true like real conversation with people, coming at them is not necessarily the best way to do it. And I've been thinking about that a lot because I think one of the things that's kind of kept me from creating more on this channel recently, besides being busy, is just feeling like any kind of video that I make on this channel is going to get hit with, angry Christians, no matter what I'm saying, Christians who maybe don't like me personally, Christians who think I'm going in the wrong direction with my life, Christians who are just kind of overly aggressive, think that they're doing God's work by attacking people who have left Christianity, etc., etc. I don't think that that's a good reason not to make videos. I understand the internet is full of trolls, and that's something that you just kind of, you develop a skin for. But it also got me thinking a lot about, okay, what energy am I bringing to a lot of videos? Am I inviting this? Am I, trying to piss people off? In some of my videos, yeah, I'm trying to piss people off. I go, the energy that I bring to it, the way that I present my thoughts is very intense, combative, anti-Christian. And that's where I was at the time I made those videos. And that's kind of the double-edged sword of YouTube, because a lot of social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, all of that stuff, like your content stays relevant for maybe a week, maybe a little bit longer, like a month if it's really banging content. But, it doesn't stay relevant. It doesn't keep getting recommended in people's feeds a year later. This video, like my first deconstruction video that brought the majority of people to this channel, that video is like, I think it's almost 2 years old at this point, maybe a year and a half. I don't remember exactly, but it's been around for a long time in like social media time. And, a lot of stuff has changed. The desire that I have just to, completely tear Christianity down is largely gone. I will hit people with arguments sometimes. I've had some pretty robust discussions with folks in recent days in the comments. Sometimes I do bring a little bit of an intense energy, but I really try and be respectful and kind and not bring that really aggressive energy, because that's not the place that I want to stay in. I've made a couple of videos talking about that before, my apartment got flooded and had to deal with all of that stuff. But I do think that something that we all should be mindful of is that people are probably more than likely than not, especially online, going to meet us with the same kind of energy that we bring. If we bring kindness and compassion, even if we're disagreeing with somebody, we're likely to receive that back. And I know when I receive comments from Christians who, maybe they're even trying to give me a gospel message, but it's done in a very kind human way, I am much, much more likely to respond in a polite and kind way. Rather, I go into it deep with them or just say thank you for the kind sentiment. That's actually, when I say that, that's not something that I'm just like brushing off the comment. Literally, I mean, thank you for the kind sentiment. Because many, many, many Christians do not have that. There's somebody that I watch on TikTok who's somebody who also talks about deconstruction, things like that. And he had a pet die recently. And the comments on that video were awful. People were saying that his pet was in hell. People were saying that, they wish that they could have barbecued his pet, wishing, all kinds of horrible things, telling him that it was God's judgment that his pet died. Just a horrible, horrible, horrible things. And like, he's not a aggressive guy. He's outspoken, but he is not like an aggressive person. And it's crazy. But I think Christians shouldn't be surprised online that they're not especially well liked if they're going to meet, people with that kind of energy. And I would say that is not Jesus' way at all. Like, you're not changing anybody's mind. You're just, making people hate you, and I guess feeding into your persecution fetish or whatever's going on there. But yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about, both, as kind of those of us who have deconstructed, who are deconstructing, who have left Christianity. Because I do want to clarify, you don't have to leave Christianity if you deconstruct. You might just change some of the more toxic beliefs and stick with Christianity in some form or fashion. But for those of us who have left, those of us who, who are no longer Christian, we have to be conscious too about the energy that we're meeting Christians with, and to be kind to them, because they're people too. And especially if we were once Christians and like serious Christians, like, got to go back in our minds to how passionate we were about evangelism, how strongly we felt that we needed to defend God, how much that persecution complex was in us, how big, at least like my generation, there was a lot of that, warriors for God, strong men kind of rhetoric, where we're in a battle, we're in a war. And you can start to see people as your enemy, start to see those who are leaving Christianity and talking about it as, leading people astray and all of this kind of stuff. And so I think on both sides, we need to show each other more compassion. We need to think about what energy we're bringing to it. Maybe if you're really pissed off, that's the time to step away from the keyboard, to close the browser out, to go outside, to take a deep breath, and, just not leave that comment, not make that video response, not, for me, make that video. Don't necessarily need to make a video if I get a comment that really pisses me off, just going after someone. I don't tend to do that too much because these videos take a little while to make and think about, and rather I just go off the cuff like this video, or script it out a little bit more. It still takes a lot of work, rather it's on the shooting side or, the editing side, because I'm, going to have to chop up bits of this video that aren't relevant, that don't make sense, the big pauses, so that it's like watchable, digestible. But yeah, so I guess really what I want to say, and have taken a long time to say, is just like, be kinder to each other, even if you disagree. And although this isn't about politics, especially in this political season in the United States, like, if you're a Democrat, be kinder to Republicans. If you're a Republican, be kinder to Democrats. it's easy to view them as your enemies, just the way that oftentimes atheists and Christians can view each other in an adversarial way. But they're not. They're people doing their best. And so, yeah, I just want to hopefully leave you guys with that message. Hopefully that's encouraging if you stuck around through this whole video. Thank you so much. And I will catch you in the next video.